She showed up at midnight saying, "My instincts brought me here." Streetlights cast long, pale reflections on the metal walkways, and the faint hum of distant engines echoed from the orbiting satellites. Nova Polis was meant to be a safe place, a small human outpost on the edge of the galaxy, home to engineers, scientists, and explorers who had come seeking a life beyond Earth. Captain Ronan Vale was walking alone along the central plaza, reviewing the night's surveillance reports on his wrist console. The colony's sensors were calm, the readings normal. He sighed. "Another boring night," he muttered. And then the air shifted. A soft vibration, almost like a heartbeat, passed through the street. Ronan froze. His instincts, honed over years of patrolling dangerous settlements, told him something unusual had arrived. Then she appeared. It was exactly midnight when the figure stepped out from the shadows. A young woman, wearing simple clothing, unarmed but moving with a strange certainty, as if she belonged to the city though no one had ever seen her. Her hair shimmered faintly in the artificial lights, and her eyes had a strange glow, soft but commanding. "My instincts brought me here," she said calmly. Her voice carried a weight that made Ronan pause, not with fear but with sudden curiosity. Who are you?" he asked. His hand hovered over his belt, instinctively ready for any threat. "I'm called Lyra," she said, stepping closer. "I'm not here to fight, but you are in danger. You don't know it yet, but your lives, your colony, everything you've built is about to change." Ronan frowned. "Danger from what? We've checked all scans. There's nothing near our orbit, nothing unusual in the system." Lyra's gaze moved toward the sky. "That is because you are looking at it the wrong way. You are seeing what is easy to detect, but danger does not always announce itself. Sometimes it comes silently, and it is instinct that tells you to notice first." The words hung in the cold night air. Something about her tone, her calmness, made it impossible to dismiss her. She was not pretending to be confident. She was confident, and somehow, that confidence alone unsettled the people who had lived their lives expecting danger to roar in loud, unmistakable warnings. Before Ronan could ask another question, the colony's communication screens flickered. The satellite feeds lit up across the city with bright red alerts. "Unidentified fleet entering orbit. Advanced technology detected. Unknown species." In the plaza, engineers and security personnel rushed to the screens, trying to identify the ships. The displays showed sleek, angular vessels, moving with precision and speed that humans had never seen. Their weapons systems glowed faintly, silent but deadly, and the fleet's numbers were enough to overwhelm Nova Polis in hours. Ronan felt a cold lump in his stomach. The galaxy had always dismissed humans as weak, unremarkable, and defenseless. Outposts like Nova Polis were considered easy targets by more advanced civilizations. Yet here was Lyra, standing calmly in the middle of the plaza, as if the arrival of alien warships was not a surprise to her. "I can stop them," she said softly. "But you must trust me completely. No hesitation, no doubt. Are you willing to do that?" The humans around her murmured nervously. Most were terrified, some were skeptical. Ronan, however, had seen instincts like hers before, rare, unexplainable flashes of intuition that could change outcomes. "Explain yourself," he said. "Why should we trust you?" "I am different," Lyra said, her voice steady. "I sense patterns in the galaxy that others cannot. I know what is coming and how to respond, but I need your cooperation. Alone, I am not enough. With humans, with your unique strengths, we can turn this around." A young engineer, Myra Kellen, spoke up. "You're saying humans can stop a fleet like that?" "They could destroy us in moments." Lyra turned to Myra and smiled faintly. "Exactly why I'm here. Humans have something the galaxy has forgotten: creativity, unpredictability, courage under pressure. That is why my instincts led me here." The alien ships were now closer, their shapes clear against the starlit sky. Nova Polis's small defense turrets had no chance against them. Panic was starting to rise among the colony's population. Children were crying, engineers were shouting into consoles, and security officers struggled to coordinate a defense. But Lyra moved through the crowd as if invisible. She placed a hand on the nearest control panel, and the lights flickered briefly. Then she turned to Ronan. "Listen carefully," she said. "These ships are not here to negotiate, but they operate on patterns. They expect fear. They expect chaos. If we remain calm, act unpredictably, and use the tools at your disposal in a way they cannot predict, we can create an opening." "I've seen this before. Humans always surprise." Ronan swallowed hard. He could feel the weight of the decision pressing down on him. Trusting a stranger, a woman claiming to know the future, was risky, but hesitation could cost the entire colony. "Okay," he said finally. "We'll do it your way for now, but you must tell us everything." Lyra nodded. "Good. First, we need to gather the colony leaders. Everyone with critical knowledge about defenses, resources, and communication must be here. We act together. I will guide you step by step." She led them to the central command hub, moving as if she had already walked this path many times. Engineers and security personnel followed, some skeptical, some desperate. Lyra did not speak until they entered the command hub. "Look at the fleet's formation," she said, pointing to the main screen. "Notice the pattern. They are not acting randomly. Their sensors are focused, their attacks predictable in sequence. That is their weakness. Humans, on the other hand, are unpredictable. That is why my instincts chose you, because only humans can exploit this." Ronan studied the alien formations carefully. "We've never faced something like this. Our ships are weaker, our defenses slower. What exactly do you want us to do?" "Observe first," Lyra replied. "Do not act on fear. Let the aliens make the first move. Their predictability will be our advantage. Then we use every resource, every mind in this city in a way they cannot anticipate. You will be the lightning strike they never see coming." A technician piped up. "But that's impossible. They're faster, more powerful," Lyra smiled. "Nothing is impossible when humans work together. You have courage, creativity, and determination. These are things no fleet, no matter how advanced, can predict or calculate." The lights in the hub dimmed slightly as the first alien ship entered firing range. Missiles flashed across the sky, but Lyra raised her hand. "Wait, observe. They will reveal their first pattern, and we will respond differently." Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. The humans watched in tense silence as the alien fleet repeated predictable maneuvers. Lyra guided them in subtle ways, rerouting power, adjusting shields, moving drones in unexpected paths. Each small action disrupted the alien pattern slightly. Every time, humans adapted faster than the fleet expected. By dawn, the first alien ship had been forced to retreat slightly from the city's defenses, a tiny victory, but monumental for human morale. The citizens of Nova Polis, once terrified, now looked at each other with a new feeling, hope. Ronan turned to Lyra, exhausted but exhilarated. "You were right," he said quietly. "I don't understand it, but you knew," she smiled faintly. "I did, and this is only the beginning. My instincts brought me here because I knew humans would be needed. The galaxy underestimates you, but I have seen what humans can do when they believe in themselves." For the first time, the colony did not feel small or vulnerable. They felt alive. And somewhere deep in the stars, Lyra's instincts whispered of the battles to come. But for now, humans had their first taste of victory. A reminder that courage, ingenuity, and determination could outshine technology, size, and fear. The sun rose over Nova Polis, casting long shadows on the metal walkways. The alien fleet still hovered above, silent and dangerous, but the humans had found their first advantage: the power of unpredictability and instinct combined with human will. As Lyra looked out over the city she had saved in the shadows, she whispered softly to herself. And for the first time in decades, the galaxy would begin to notice humanity. The alien fleet lingered above Nova Polis. Its dark, angular shapes cutting sharp silhouettes against the morning sky. Unlike humans, who were noisy and emotional in their reactions, the ships were silent and deliberate. Sensors glowed across their hulls, and faint pulses of energy traveled in predictable intervals. The city's monitors displayed every movement, every calculated approach. Yet the humans were no longer frozen by fear. The previous night had changed something. Under Lyra's guidance, they had learned to see patterns, to anticipate steps, and to act in ways that the aliens could not predict. And the galaxy had no idea how dangerous unpredictability could be when wielded by human minds. Captain Ronan Vale stood in the command hub, staring at the screens. His hair was unkempt, his uniform wrinkled from hours of tension, but his eyes burned with determination. He glanced at Lyra. "Where do we start today?" he asked. "Observation first," Lyra replied. She moved to the largest display and pointed at the fleet's formation. "Notice the rhythm. Every strike, every maneuver follows a sequence. If we understand the sequence, we can find gaps." "The gaps are weaknesses, and humans excel at exploiting them," Ronan frowned. "We've been watching them all night. They barely change. How do you know we can use this?" "Because humans think differently," she said. "The fleet calculates moves logically, predictably, like a machine. Humans are not machines. You improvise, adapt, and see possibilities that logic alone cannot. You turn randomness into power." A young engineer, Myra Kellen, leaned over a console. "You mean like hacking their expectations?" "Exactly," Lyra said. "We are going to teach them that humans cannot be predicted, and once they realize it, hesitation will slow them down." Ronan rubbed his face. "Sounds dangerous." "Everything worth doing is," Lyra said with a faint smile. "But I will guide you. Follow my instincts, trust your skills, and we will change the game." The first step. Lyra led a team of engineers and strategists to the lower levels of Nova Polis, where the city's drones and scout units were stored. These small craft were often dismissed as weak, but under Lyra's guidance, they became instruments of chaos against the predictable alien fleet. "Most humans underestimate small things," Lyra explained, holding a compact drone in her hand. "But even small actions placed correctly can force larger forces to react. Watch carefully." The drones were released into the sky, their movements erratic, zigzagging and darting in unpredictable patterns. The alien fleet responded immediately, firing in what they assumed was precision. Missiles followed the drones, energy pulses targeted them, but the drones split and changed direction at the last second. The fleet's rhythm was disrupted, just slightly, but enough to create confusion among their ranks. "This is only the beginning," Lyra said. "The smallest humans can create the largest effects." The humans in the command hub watched in awe. What had seemed hopeless hours ago now felt like the first glimpse of victory. The alien fleet had never encountered humans who thought this way. Their calculations were precise, but human creativity and improvisation were not predictable. The council meeting as the day wore on, colony leaders were summoned to the hub. Scientists, engineers, and administrators crowded into the room, listening as Lyra spoke with calm authority. "You may not understand my methods yet," she said, "but trust that humans have capabilities the galaxy forgets. You are small, yes. Your fleet is weaker, your defense is limited, but that is exactly why you are dangerous. Predictable enemies can be defeated, but humans are never predictable." An administrator named Eldon Vore shook his head. "You speak of hope, but hope won't stop those ships. They can crush us in minutes." Lyra turned to him, her eyes steady. "You are thinking like a colony afraid of attack. I am thinking like a being who knows the future, but even I cannot succeed alone. Humans must act, adapt, and surprise. That is why I came here. My instincts brought me to humans because humans can take impossible situations and make them possible." There was a long pause, then Myra spoke. "We've already started seeing it, the drones. Even small disruptions confuse them, If we push this further, we can force mistakes. Ronan nodded. We'll follow your plan, but we need specifics. What's next? Lyra smiled faintly. Next, we escalate. We engage the fleet not with direct force but with strategy. We force them to miscalculate, to hesitate, to doubt. And once doubt enters a machine, it begins to fail. The unseen advantage, the alien fleet, though advanced, had never faced humans who used subtlety and creativity as weapons. Their sensors tracked movement, their computers predicted outcomes, but humans had an advantage the galaxy did not account for: imagination. Lyra guided the colony to activate every available system: drones, communications networks, power grids, and use them in ways the aliens could not predict. Lights blinked in random sequences, holographic decoys were deployed, and false energy signatures were sent to confuse the fleet's targeting systems. The effect was immediate. Alien ships fired, missed, corrected, and fired again, overcorrecting each time because they expected predictable targets. Humans were unpredictable. They moved fast, improvised, and adapted in ways the fleet's logic could not calculate. Notice how they hesitate, Lyra said, pointing at the screens. Every hesitation is an opportunity, every mistake a chance to gain advantage. That is how humans win. Ronan felt a thrill. The colony's defenses, weak on paper, were now effective against one of the galaxy's most advanced fleets. Humans were proving that determination, creativity, and teamwork could overcome technological superiority. The first HFY moment. Hours later, as the alien fleet began to show signs of frustration, a breakthrough happened. A particularly daring maneuver by a group of drones caused one alien ship to misfire and collide with another, damaging both vessels. The humans cheered, but Lyra raised her hand. Do not celebrate yet, this is just the start. But notice what happened. Humans created confusion where none existed, forcing error without direct confrontation. That is power. That is what makes humans dangerous. For the first time, Ronan realized the truth of her words. They were weaker in technology, smaller in numbers, but they had something the aliens could never calculate: courage, creativity, and unpredictability. This is incredible, he whispered. We're actually winning. You're not winning yet, Lyra replied. You're proving that humans are more than what the galaxy expects. The moment they realize you cannot be predicted, that is when humans become unstoppable. The strategy expands. Lyra began to coordinate more complex actions. She had humans move entire energy grids to simulate larger forces, create holographic decoys of massive ships, and simulate attacks in directions the fleet did not anticipate. Each small action multiplied into strategic chaos, forcing the alien commanders to hesitate repeatedly. Myra worked with a team of engineers to manipulate the colony's drones in formations that no human had ever attempted before. They moved like living storms, fast and erratic, hitting multiple targets at once. The alien fleet tried to adapt, but every calculated move was countered by human ingenuity. By nightfall, the aliens had lost coordination. Ships drifted out of formation, energy weapons misfired, and communication links were disrupted. Humans, for the first time, had shifted the balance without firing a single destructive strike of their own. Ronan could hardly believe it. The humans who had seemed defenseless were now the source of fear for one of the galaxy's most advanced forces: trust and teamwork. Lyra gathered the colony leaders for a late-night session. Trust, she said simply. Trust in yourselves, trust in each other, and trust in instinct. Humans are not predictable, and the galaxy will never see you coming. That is why I came here, to guide you to your own strengths. Eldon Vor, once skeptical, now nodded. I see it. The aliens are reacting, not controlling, and every reaction creates opportunity. Ronan placed his hand on a console. We've already done more than anyone thought possible, and it's only with Lyra's guidance and our combined effort. This is humanity's strength. Yes, Lyra said softly, The galaxy forgot, but humans will remind them. The calm before the next storm. As the night deepened, Nova Polis remained tense but determined. The alien fleet hovered above, regrouping after repeated errors, while the humans worked tirelessly under Lyra's guidance. She moved through the hub quietly, checking calculations, adjusting drone paths, and quietly giving encouragement. "This is what humans do," she said. "We face the impossible, adapt, and grow stronger. And humans are not just survivors. You are architects of unpredictability, builders of hope, and masters of chance. The galaxy underestimates you, but it will learn." Ronan looked at her, finally understanding why she had come. Not to fight for them, but to remind them of what they already had inside. Courage, imagination, instinct. These were the tools the galaxy feared the most. Outside, the alien fleet's lights blinked in the darkness of space, silent but uneasy. Something in their calculations had shifted. They had never faced humans like this. Unpredictable, brave, and creative. Humans who could turn the tides without traditional weapons. Lyra looked at the city, bathed in artificial light. "Tomorrow," she whispered, "we will show them that humans do not retreat. Humans do not surrender. And when they realize what they are up against, the galaxy will never forget it." And for the first time in decades, humans felt the thrill of being truly alive, not just survivors, but pioneers of their destiny. The night over Nova Polis was calm, but tension hummed in every corner of the city. The alien fleet had retreated slightly after the humans' unpredictable maneuvers, but Lyra knew this was only temporary. The fleet would return, stronger and more determined, expecting to finish what it had begun. Inside the central command hub, humans moved with purpose. Every console, drone, and sensor was coordinated under Lyra's guidance. She had spent the night teaching them how to read the enemy's patterns, how to create chaos in the fleet's calculations, and how to turn small actions into strategic advantages. Captain Ronan Vale stood at the main observation window, looking up at the black silhouettes of the alien ships. "They'll be back soon," he said. His voice was calm but firm. "And when they return, we need to be ready for anything." Lyra turned to him, her glowing eyes reflecting determination. "Humans are ready. You have learned to adapt, improvise, and act together. That is the advantage. Technology alone cannot match it." The fleet returns hours later. The alien fleet reappeared. Their ships moved faster, their formations tighter, but the humans no longer flinched. Drones zipped through the sky in unpredictable paths. Holographic decoys flickered into existence across the city, and every energy system was prepared to simulate multiple attacks at once. The aliens fired first. Missiles streaked toward the city, but Lyra had already calculated patterns that would force them to overshoot. Drones darted unpredictably, energy grids shifted, and lights blinked in random sequences. The alien fleet's sensors tried to track these movements, but humans were not predictable. Every action they took disrupted the aliens' calculations further. "This is it," Lyra said softly. "We are showing them that humans cannot be calculated, cannot be defeated by patterns. Observe carefully, adjust, and strike with creativity." The first surprise, a small team of engineers led by Myra Kellen deployed drones in a new formation. They moved in a wave-like motion, splitting and rejoining in ways the aliens' systems could not predict. "Look at them," Myra whispered to Ronan. "They're trying to fire, but they keep missing. Every misfire throws them off schedule." Ronan nodded, excitement building. "We're creating chaos, but in a controlled way. Lyra's right, this is more than fighting. This is thinking faster than them, seeing what they cannot see." Even Eldon Vore, the skeptical administrator, was now fully engaged. "They've never faced humans like this," he said, voice tight with awe. "We're not just defending ourselves, we're teaching them to fear unpredictability." Lyra smiled faintly. "And fear is a weapon humans wield naturally without realizing it. Coordinated creativity." Over the next hours, humans began using every system in the city as part of a larger strategy. Communications arrays emitted signals that confused alien sensors, power grids flickered unpredictably, and holographic projections of giant human ships appeared across the skyline. The alien fleet tried to respond, adjusting their trajectory and weapons. But every move they made was countered by human ingenuity. They could calculate, but they could not anticipate the sheer creativity of human minds working together. Notice the pattern of hesitation, Lyra instructed. Every pause, every misfire is an opening. That is how humans win, not by brute force but by outthinking the enemy. Ronan watched the screens in disbelief. Ships that had seemed unstoppable the day before were now faltering, misaligned, or retreating slightly. Humans had not destroyed them, they had outsmarted them. The HFY moment as the alien fleet struggled to regain control, Lyra made her move. She directed the humans to create a simulated strike, a holographic image of a massive human vessel moving through the city. It wasn't real, but it was convincing. The fleet reacted instantly, diverting all attention and firepower to counter the illusion. Then, in the distraction, the humans executed their real plan. Drones moved to the alien ships, blind spots. Small energy bursts disrupted their systems, and lights in the city blinked in carefully timed patterns that mimicked multiple attacks from different directions. The alien fleet had no choice but to retreat. Their sensors failed to identify real threats from illusions, their calculations were off, and their confidence faltered. Ronan turned to the team. "They're retreating. They're actually retreating." Lyra's voice was calm but triumphant. "Yes, humans have shown the galaxy what it has forgotten. Creativity, adaptability, courage. These are weapons that no technology can predict or counter. That is why I came here. That is why humans survive, thrive, and triumph." Aftermath of the battle. By dawn, the alien fleet had left orbit. Nova Polis was intact, its citizens exhausted but exhilarated. Humans had not destroyed the ships, they had outsmarted them. They had proven that human ingenuity and unpredictability were more powerful than brute force. The citizens of Nova Polis gathered in the plaza, cheering, hugging, and laughing. They were proud, not because they had defeated an enemy with sheer strength, but because they had demonstrated what humans were truly capable of. Ronan looked at Lyra. "You were right. We didn't need to match them ship for ship or weapon for weapon. We just needed to be ourselves." Lyra nodded. "Humans are underestimated because others cannot see the power of imagination, instinct, and collaboration. Today, you reminded the galaxy why humans should never be dismissed." The message to the galaxy. Lyra guided the colony to broadcast a message to nearby systems, not of surrender or plea, but of warning. Humans cannot be calculated. Humans cannot be predicted. Underestimate them at your own risk. The message, simple yet powerful, spread quickly. Across the galaxy, listening species paused. They had assumed humans were weak, compliant, and easy to ignore. But Nova Polis had shown them that humans were innovative, brave, and cunning beyond expectation. "This is just the beginning," Lyra said softly, watching the stars where the alien fleet had vanished. "The galaxy will remember this night, and humans will continue to surprise." A new confidence in the weeks that followed, Nova Polis thrived. The humans rebuilt systems, improved defenses, and shared the lessons they had learned. But most importantly, they changed the way humans saw themselves. They were no longer small, defenseless colonists on the edge of space. They were innovators, strategists, and survivors, the very embodiment of human potential. Ronan, Myra, Eldon, and the rest of the colony often reflected on the lessons Lyra had taught them. Courage was essential, yes, but creativity, adaptability, and teamwork were their true weapons. Humans did not need to dominate by force. They could dominate by thinking differently. Lyra, meanwhile, continued to walk among the humans quietly, guiding them, observing, and sometimes offering a nudge or suggestion. Her presence reminded them of one simple truth: human potential was limitless when combined with instinct and imagination. One evening, as the sun set over the city, Ronan stood on a balcony and watched the sky. "They'll come back," he said quietly. "Perhaps," Lyra replied. "But humans will be ready, and next time they will not underestimate you. They will learn that humans are a force unlike any other in the galaxy. And you will remind them why the stars should fear nothing but human ingenuity." For the first time in history, humans had faced the galaxy's superior forces and emerged victorious, not through destruction, but through cleverness, adaptability, and courage. The galaxy had underestimated them for centuries, and now it would never forget. And somewhere deep among the stars, Lyra's instincts hummed with satisfaction. She had brought humans to this moment because she knew they were ready. Ready to face the unknown, ready to thrive, and ready to show the galaxy the true meaning of humanity. Nova Polis shone in the dawn light, not just as a city, but as a symbol. A reminder that humans, small and underestimated, could bend the rules of the universe simply by being themselves.